Boom.
All right, well, welcome you guys. Happy Monday. I love when we get to gather like this and we have a little special something to do tonight. So I mentioned with a few ladies this morning, I've really been inspired by myself. Something I know that I need to improve on is sharing my story. And so for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm just going to open up briefly with who I am and how long I've been in the business and a little bit about me. So I'm from Conyers, Georgia, which is a town outside of Atlanta, and I've been in the business for 5 years now. I joined solely for cheap products and a kind of why not chance. I wanted the wraps and didn't really see the harm in paying a little bit of extra to get the business and free products. So 8 months later of hard work, lots of grinding, lots of events, just doing the things and doing all the things, I promoted to the rank of diamond and replaced my husband's income and brought him home from work. But guys, that was 4 years ago. So to give a spin on, my story some more in a nutshell, I've been a full-time hairstylist and makeup artist for the last 4.5, 5 years. I have a daughter, I have a husband, a very busy life. Like I've always kept myself so crazy busy, but for some reason, like I always hold on to things that I'm passionate about, which has been my hair and my makeup. And I never expected to put that down. Now, mind you, I've always loved my business and had excitement towards my business. But, when things happened in our world back in February, I was totally stripped from doing the things that I loved and my passion, which was doing hair and makeup. And ultimately, that was my full-time income. So yes, I'm a lifetime rank diamond, but at the time I was not paid as such through commissions, even though my e-suite said that I was a lifetime rank. The commissions part really wasn't meeting that standard anymore. So I came to a kind of a rock and a hard place where you go, what am I going to do? I can't work. I can't do anything. I have to be homebound. And I'm so thankful that I had this opportunity in my hands. I'm so thankful that I had this business, even at the time where I was expecting, always do my business alongside of here. I always wanted to do my business full time, but I guess I never had like the push of just doing it. And whether I planned it or not, it's what happened. And by the grace of goodness of God, I was able to take a executive paycheck, you guys, in February, and in 90 days earn over $1,000 in fast start bonuses, $500 in sample cash, and bring my paycheck up to $600 a month. And that was just from really 90 days of grinding it out to the point that when it comes to what you need, you'll find a way. It's kind of like if your baby needs to eat that day, what are you going to do? I had to find a way. I was selling samples like crazy, like samples fed us. Swear, sample cash fed our mouths. Fast start bonuses made it so my bills weren't late. And like it gets me like haughty in my face and flashed a little bit because it's kind of a low point that's really hard for me to talk about, having to say, hey, everything was stripped from me and I kind of had an oh crap moment of what am I going to do? But I'm so thankful that I kind of had a hash it out in the love zone moment with the Lord and was like, I don't know quite like what needs to happen, but something's got to happen. And I'm willing to do whatever, God, like I'm willing to do anything. I'll wake up early. I'll push out as many messages as I can to make this happen for my family. And that has spiraled into something so incredible that now I am home full-time doing this business. So what I wanted it, but it was never in my plans. I put it on my dream board, but I never really like truly believed that this could be a full-time thing for me. And then it almost had to be. Like I didn't have a choice. So not everybody comes to that crossroad where they don't have an option, but I can tell you this, I never expected that to happen for me, but it happened. And I'm thankful that it did, because if it had not, I probably would have been stuck in that same place that I was for 4 years after hitting diamond. So I've been in this business a long time per se, not as long as everybody, but I've been in this business a while and long enough to see that just because you're in it for a long time doesn't mean anything when it comes to what you're actually earning. And the fact that I get to have breakfast with her every morning is priceless. So now I have this vision and vehicle of the fact that I don't want that taken away. So it's like, I know what the power of our business can do from the 3 ways that we can earn income, from sample cash to weekly bonuses to monthly commissions. I mean, no matter what your e-suite says, like I can still earn income for my family in all of these different avenues. And that is such a driving force for me now. Like, it's not about having the fancy handbag or, you know, the lavish things or buying the most expensive food. It's like, I get to be home with my family and do these things that before I had just dreamed of, but always said, oh, but I'm just going to do hair full time. Oh, I'm just going to do hair full time. And I'm just going to stay crazy busy, when reality was I was missing Halloweens. I didn't go to a single field trip for my daughter's preschool. And that's because I could never get off work, even working part-time doing hair. I was crunching myself for hours. So in a nutshell, what I thought I had my hands on was amazing for many years, but it came to a point where it's like, what are you gonna do? And when the going got tough, I just got tougher. So I'm really excited for what 2020 is gonna bring in my business, just knowing that the conviction of, okay, I took my business from like stage 1 to stage 10 in a matter of weeks because I had to, you know? So what if like we just could put all that energy into like a basket and just use it whenever we wanted to, not by kind of like a, oh crap moment. But in a nutshell, that's my story, and I'm pushing again for Double Diamond, and I'm so stinking excited about it. So Heather, if you want to take it away and do your story.
Well, hi, everybody. My name is Heather Rynerson, and I am in San Diego. I'm an Arizona girl in a California world. I was born in Minnesota, raised in Tucson, Arizona my whole entire life, and moved to San Diego in 2015. And coming from the nonprofit world, which I had been in for the previous 7 years, God stretched me in ways that I've never been stretched. And leaving all that behind on God's journey, coming to California, newly married after a long season of being a single mom, struggling financially, 2 kids, getting them through high school, and being a divorced woman of an addict for 14 years. I went through a season of food stamps, losing my home, struggling, not even being able to drive my kids someplace I wanted to go, or I wouldn't have enough gas to get through my work week. So here God brings me to California, and I'm in a new marriage, and what am I going to do? Well, that's when I start seeing my friend posting all those before and afters on social media. And I'm like, well, my belly looks like that, and my thighs look like that. Does this stuff really work? So we talked, and I went to her website and thought, my friends are going to want this too. I'm going to buy the products anyways. And I'm naturally an oversharer. I love to share everything with my friends. If I go to a grocery store and I find a sale, or I eat at a restaurant and I get a really good meal, or I see an amazing movie, I'm always telling people about it. And she's like, well, why don't you just join as a distributor? So I did. And that was 5 years ago in April. And it was amazing. It took me, of course, past the $500 bonus to go Ruby, but I went Ruby. And then we went Emerald. And then the next month I was never Emerald again. So my lifetime rank is Emerald. I've been in the business for 5 years. I'm back at distributor level. But you know what? I am in an amazing, unique place, because as a 54-year young woman, I have experienced struggle. I've experienced food stamps. I have experienced being stretched at a nonprofit where I'm sitting in front of a classroom of teenagers, teaching them about healthy relationships, if they're having sex, what the risks are, having straight down legit conversations about everything from STDs to sexual innuendos, but how to have a real conversation with each other. And then talking to parents and educating parents, and just seeing all those things that I did back then during the struggle. And then now I'm in a business where I get to influence. I get to share my wisdom as a 54-year young woman on knowing that mom who's home praying, the woman who can't sleep at night because she doesn't know how she's going to put food on the table, and somebody who's trying something new for the first time and they're scared to death. Just like when we start this business, right? There's things that you face that just you can either focus on your insecurities and your fears, or you can move forward. I get to come alongside people and encourage them, speak life into them. It is such a cool opportunity. And where for so many years, probably my first 3 years in this business, I was like, how am I going to be an influencer? Everybody is so much younger. They have all of these beautiful pictures and they're just perfect. I am older. How am I going to be relatable? Well, you know what? I have so much to offer. So being in the business for 5 years, I get to see all of my gifts. And what I do bring to the table is a lot of wisdom. And all of that is priceless. Each one of us has so many gifts to bring, no matter what stage we're at in the business, and we get to do it together. And we get to be a part of a company that makes that so important. The fact that that's one team, one mission is priceless beyond any other measure. But the rest is up to us, right? The rest is up to what we get to do with it. And the reason I am doing this business is because I don't have a retirement. I do not have a savings account. If something were to happen to my husband, I'd be living in a van down by the river. And that is not going to happen. And I know there's other people my age that don't have a retirement. And they don't have a college degree. And it scares the death out of them. So how can we reach them? How can we let them know that they're not alone? And that this is a way to create that margin in their life to be able to live without worry, to be able to have a savings account. So when your kids tell you they're getting married, they don't have to scrimp, that they don't have to worry, about how they can have a dream wedding, not, Kardashian wedding, but they can have a wedding of their dreams, and you get to be a part of it because you hustled. I can hustle. I can fight. I can create 6 months retirement in the bank. I can create a security safety net because I chose to say yes. And I continue to choose every single day to believe in a vehicle that has a product line unlike any other and is changing people's lives. From as simple as somebody being able to look themselves in the mirror when they get out of the shower, to somebody who isn't afraid to open up their bank account and they can write in pen. Back in our day, we wrote in a check register. They're not afraid of that. They're not afraid of the late fees or the pink slip, or how many of these pink slips can I get before I get a late fee. We get to do that, and that is so incredibly powerful. That is why I do what I do.
Thank you, Heather.
You're
for being
welcome.
so open. Oh my gosh, y'all. It was so good. It was so good. I don't know that I've ever heard you be that open and honest and share those deep layers of your heart as to what is truly pushing you. And I'm so excited for you and your business because of the care you have to give others light of hope. Y'all, such a gift. And it brings me to a point to say, Ashley Mayfield suggests that when you transition into a red moment that you should signal, hey, I'm transitioning into a red leader moment. I'm going to say something, okay? We've all had a chance to prepare. I know that we are not all hungry to enroll distributors, and I totally get that. We all have our spaces where we feel comfortable, but like Heather mentioned, there are seasons of life that people go through that's hard, and we can relate. And I think when we don't extend that offer to invite people to be a part of the business, even if that's by sharing your story and not directly reaching out, but just sharing your story on your page and giving someone that beacon of hope and light. It's selfish. It's selfish just to sit with our own feelings of, I know that I have power in this testimony, but I'm too dang scared to share it. It's selfish, and it's not selfish like, keeping in about all things about me. It's not that it's all about me, but it's, I'm only thinking about me feeling, So, wow, Heather, thank you so much for that. Holy smoke. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do an activity together of sharing our story. So we're going to take some time, pen and paper. You guys probably hear my dog scratching, like their foots are like banging on the ground right now. So I hope you don't hear that. Sorry. We're going to
How many of you get nervous sharing your story?
Probably everybody.
Yeah. I mean, could you guys hear me shaking? Yeah. I was like, they know. And I was like, they can hear me shaking. I know they can hear my voice shaking. Just keep going.
And you know what? I didn't hear you shaking from nervousness. I felt you shaking from passion. Like I felt all of that. I felt like
an emotional mom.
Yeah, like for me, if I were listening to your story, I would be able to relate to that and say, I know that she can help me. Like, I know that she really cared. I mean, you said a vehicle with a product line like no other. So you knew that it was a means to help you do something that you wanted to do. And you've been in it long enough and you're passionate enough about it that you could honestly help someone else. I would never think that you were just trying to get me in a business to join your team, or that you were just trying to sell me something. You literally had, what can I do to help you, written all over your story.
Holy crap. So that is a lesson in of itself. Like, what I am perceiving as being communicated is not what's being received. All that is within our control is to share.
Yep.
Is to share. And that's what we get to do today. I love that it put it on Madeline's heart that we each get to kind of role play tonight and help each other through navigating, sharing your heart, which is your story. So sorry, Madeline, I totally interrupted.
No, don't be sorry. It's okay. This is kind of like open discussion, Brady Bunch Zoom here. But even if signing distributors is not your focus in your business, I want you to know there's power in sharing your story for enrolling customers, because it brings a value of you to your brand. It brings a value of you to your social media, to your Facebook. I mean, anybody can go take a clip art picture from Google or copy and paste something from somebody else. But when you can take that time to put in you and share why you're doing this, people are supporting you and why you're passionate about it and what your vision is. The Bible says people without vision will perish. And bringing our customers on board and letting them know that our vision for the vehicle of this business and why we're doing it and why we're so excited, they have the confidence that we're going to be their rep for a long time. They have the confidence that if they come to us, we care enough to be there for them and help them with an issue as it arises, or entrust us with their business, and then tenfold for empowering a new distributor to be a part of your team. I promise you, whatever it is you've gone through, your life is not too boring. I promise you, your story is not stale. There's someone who's meant to relate to you, and God has a person for each one of those things. So what I would like for us to do is, you can get out a blank sheet of paper. You can use the notes on your phone. But I'm kind of feeling like, let's start off with like the qualities of ourselves. Like, maybe you're a mom, a grandma, a teacher. Maybe you used to work in a bank. You like to plant. You like to garden. You like to cook. You have fur babies. You've got dogs, cats, lizards. I may have a shark here soon. Who knows? Like whatever is about you. You're a reader. You're a learner. What kind of movies do you like? Like, let's dive into 5 things. We can take some quiet time. 5 things that are like major, bright key points about yourself. Does that make sense, everybody? Things that make you, you, sissy. What makes you, you? And if you list more than 5, keep on going. Keep fluffing up all the good things about you. You guys need like 2 or 3 more minutes? How are y'all doing? Good? You guys want 2 more minutes? Yes? Okay. So while you're finishing jotting down, what you can utilize this list for is things to talk about on your page that's not just, you know, the products or just the business, ways that you can add in parts of yourself so that people can gain connections with you and relate to you. So, you know, if you've got a couple animals and you can talk about your fur babies and post pictures of your fur babies. I'm not like by any stretch of the imagination a master gardener, but I have gotten excited about houseplants. So like that's kind of a little avenue I'm starting to dabble into, you know, but it's something that you can provide content for on your social media pages and relate to people. Maybe you love to cook and you've got some good family recipes that you can start bringing to the table for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hold out on the good mac and cheese. Make sure you share that. I don't care how secretive it is. It's 2020. You know, I'm just kidding. But like, if you're really great at sweets, like Awesome Grammy is all about like making some awesome desserts and stuff that I see in her coffees that she makes up. Like, she's good in the kitchen. She's good at gardening, and I can tell that from her page. So just these little key points can allow you to add your personal touch onto your Instagrams, your Facebook, your stories. Like when you want to pop something in that kind of is just like a little filler in between, you can pop different things that are about you in there, or as well engaging in groups. So, you know, you can again have conversations with like-minded people and such. And it's amazing when you attract people into your circle who, you know, we're never exactly the same, but if we can have little similar things to talk about, it's always fun. Anything you want to add to that, Heather?
No, I think that was wonderful. And I love that this is the pillars and the building block for what we're going to do with our story. But it also, on days when we really don't have a lot of mental capacity to deal with things, kind of like me today, in the chat that we were in, we can pull from these. And it might be even a little sticky that you put in your planner that you just move from month to month. So that way, if you're like, oh, what do I want to post about today? You know, and because those days we may have moments we feel insignificant, which
Right.
we're really not. It's just the emotional roller coasters. And I know Anita can speak to this because if you've ever read Og Mandino, he talks about that. No matter our day-to-day emotional roller coaster that we're all going to go through, we still get to CEO the emotional roller coaster of our life. And these help on those days when we just, you know, need a little bit of an oomph.
Love it. See, you did have something to say. That was good. That was good. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about our story in like a web. So I want you to take it back old school, okay? Middle school style. We're going to do a web. A web. Awesome, Grammy, a web. So like you in the center and then the things off of it that are about your story. And that's going to include why you got started in the business. For me, I wanted body wraps and it was $40 more. Had no clue what kind of all enlightened guru wrap goddesses I was signing up for. Had no idea, but I wanted wraps and it was offered. So that's a part of my story. Yes, perfect, perfect web. Okay. And if you've got 4 spider legs, cool. Take those 4 spider legs that are coming off, or 6 overachiever over there. But once you get your spider bubbles off, then detail those. So like, we're not going to get super extensive, but I want you to really kind of push yourself out of these whys. So why you joined, Maybe as well, the next thing we can mention here is what motivates you each day. If you're kind of teetering on an each day motivation, bring it back even further to say, if I could achieve any rank without fail, any amount of income without fail, influence such amount of people, have such amount of, mentality and strength, what would I desire? There's a why deep down in there. Another thing to put on your pillar is your favorite part about this business. Like, what's your most favorite thing apart this whole big extravagant shebang? What's your most favorite? And then carry on. Something else you can add in there is because of it works, blank, blank, blank. And that doesn't have to be a dollar amount thing. I know for me, because of it works, I have an amazing group of women that I get to surround myself with each week who are just nothing but inspiring, encouraging, and always there for me when I need them. Like that's a gift that I've received because of this business. Maybe it's developing your mindset, becoming a stronger individual, gaining more confidence. Because of this business, I can fill up my gas tank versus just putting in $5. Like okay, I don't have to go on. It's fine.
You can never have too many examples.
I think the trick is drawing the circle first before you write, because it's hard for me to get the circle around some of this stuff.
And I'm such a rebel. I drew the circle and I wrote all around it. You can't put me in a circle. You can't put me in a box.
I did the same thing.
No baby in a circle.
You see that? Like, I wrote the circle, then I just wrote all around it.
Y'all are greens trying to reinvent the wheel over there.
I'm
That's
green.
awesome. I love it. I can't wait till the story part. I want to hear everybody's story.
Oh yeah, bonus, we're all going to take turns sharing. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It's okay. Listen, the more that you do it, the more comfortable it feels. But I don't think it ever feels 100% comfortable because we're having to be vulnerable.
Well, and you can just pick one thing too. You don't have to share the whole backstory like we did. You could just pick like, man, I saw this business and this is what I thought and this is what I want. Like you don't have to get the history of your family or anything like that unless you want to share.
Yeah, well, you can absolutely just practice one of your bubbles. So the whole point of this was, you know, getting accustomed to sharing your story, sharing your testimony is going to give someone power. Your testimony is a witness of power and growth. That's what it is. And it doesn't matter if you give that to somebody and they don't join your business, become a customer or a distributor. You might have inspired somebody, though, to go take that next step of faith in whatever it is that God's placed on their heart. Or as well, you know, sharing your story to empower other people to see that there's possibilities. Yes. I was reading in our prayer circle book about the power of a testimony and how it doesn't translate the same when, like, if I was to tell you my testimony, my story, but what if Heather was to tell you what she heard about my testimony, my story? It's not as powerful unless it comes from me, right? And it's not going to be, it's like we can tell people things and like hope that they hear it and then maybe it passes down the line like telephone, but the testimony that you can give somebody is just a beacon of hope. And we're all here to help people, right?
And we got to face those fears. We all say we want to grow. Well, this is an opportunity, especially if your first response is,
you won't die. And it's just us, you know? It's just us.
Yes.
So now that we have our web, all right, you've got your story, which is yours, and you can always feel free to add on to this. Maybe every couple of weeks, you redo this exercise. Maybe the interest of you're like, I thought I really liked, you know, like reading, but I really only like reading like self-development books. So I really don't know if I would call myself like a reader, or like, I like to listen to music, but I'm not like, I don't know that I like want to dive into music groups. Like maybe you'll find that your interest or things about you change. Like I know I've changed so much from the moment that I started. So if you need to revise this or revisit this, or maybe, you know, you're sitting in your bed, you're just having your personal thoughts and like an aha moment just comes to you and you're like, oh, no, that's why I want to do this. And like the Lord gives you some extra power and you're like, holy crap moment. And you want to add that on, you can always revisit and revise this. This is just a work in progress. And what the Lord told me before we get into this, the Lord told me this morning, he said, Maddie, because I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I am sick and tired of telling the story about my success 4 years ago. I'm over it. I'm over it. It was 4 years ago. What am I doing now? And it's nobody else is sick of hearing it. It's me, you know? And the real raw moment that I had this morning was, I want you to share your testimony while the growth is happening. Don't wait to share after. Because I am placing you in position. Okay, you are in a position of such grace, such joy, such abundance, and there's so much light inside of each and every one of you. And I know that you want something greater than where we are right now in this moment. I mean, I would hope we all want something a little bit more, right? And we would love to just skip forward and get right to that thing and then turn back and be like, oh my God, look at what God did. I can talk about it now that it's over. But he wants us to speak out about our testimonies while it's happening. It's that conviction of faith and belief that you matter, your thoughts matter, and where you're going matters. And people want to be around people who've got vision. It doesn't matter what your vision is going to look like. Totally different to Heather's, to mine, to Anita's, to Sherry's. Everybody's vision is going to look different, but it's special to you. And when someone can tell that you're on a path for something individually cited, then they're going to feel so invited to be a part of that with you and be like, dang, I am so inspired by her because she's bold and brave is what they will think, but really we're growing on the inside of ourselves just to be the best we can be, you know? So anywho, I'll stop preaching on that. But let's take.
So we've got like 20 minutes, and
Okay, I'm done now.
if
I'm done.
everybody can share, that's okay. If we can share your pillars, and then if you want to volunteer to go anywhere from, if it's just 30 seconds to maybe 4 minutes, that way everybody will have an opportunity, or I can draw names if you want to volunteer, or I can draw names. I put everybody's name on a paper. So however you want to play, Russian roulette, or I want to go first. Julie wants to go first. Okay.
I'll share my little quick tidbit because I'm going to have to dart out. So I want to tell you why I started this business. My name is Julie. I've been in this business for 8 years. 8 years, folks. And, you know, I achieved the rank of Ruby pretty fast. I had a great team. I had a diamond setup team. And, you know, it didn't go as planned, but that's okay. Because my goal in this business was to bring my husband home. We've been married 21 years, and he was an over-the-road truck driver, gone every day, every night. He came home maybe once every 6 weeks. Sometimes it was months. And I really decided that I didn't want to be by myself raising kids. Although I did, they were mine and his, and but I really wanted him home. I wanted him to become local. So I really put my nose to the grindstone, and I was able to do that, and I was able to do that pretty quick. And then I realized, oh, well, I've done that, so now let's save to buy our house, because for 21 years we rented. We've never bought a home together except for the home we live in now, which we purchased 3 years ago. And that's the main reason I started my business, was to bring him home to buy a house. I did both of those. He works locally. I'm still an educator, but now I have 12 grandbabies that I feel like, you know, their parents, they work 2 jobs. Some of them work 2, their partner works 2, and I want to be that person that they know they can come to and say, hey, we're struggling, because I've been there. I struggled in a marriage for 14 years that was toxic, and I had 3 children. But I was scared to get out because he was in the military, and I knew that was a safe place for me. But I took that leap of faith. I called my parents and I said, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do, but God's going to provide every step of the way. He did. I still had a job. I didn't have to rely on, because I was a teacher, I didn't have to rely on anybody to help me, because I was going to do this by myself. I wasn't going to say, you know, my parents to say, see, I told you, now what are you going to do with 3 kids, right? But I just kept going. And 21 years ago, I met my high school sweetheart back. Neither one of us were married, but he had 2 children. I had 3, so we combined. And it's like we just started where we left off. We should have been married from the beginning. And you know, but hindsight's 20/20, and you can't go back to 2020. You know, if I would have done this, then this would have happened. But nevertheless, I am in such a happy place with this business, because at 55 years old, well, 55 years young, I'm not afraid to talk to people, and I'm not afraid to share what I have. And I have come to the realization, you guys, it's not my business what everybody else thinks of me. I am just going to move forward because I know where my heart is, and I know that my heart is strong. I know that my skin is thick. It's okay. You know, I don't want to be like that person that can't say yes to her grandchildren. But yet I hear people say, well, you're not making that much money. How, you know what I mean? People think that you have to work this business. If you set yourself up for an income that you actually want to make money, you have to work this business. You can't rely on your team. You can't rely on anybody to do it. You can follow the leadership. I mean, you guys right here are such an inspiration to me, because I know that I can open up my Facebook and I can find you guys, but you have to really look within yourself and build that strong relationship with yourself and say, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this for me, because here's what I have laid out on my paper. I have grandkids. I want them to be able to go to swimming. I want them to be able to do dance. So that's why I do this business. I'm still a Ruby, and that's okay, because I know that God is directing my footsteps, and he's leading the people to me, because I want more for everybody. But you can't make everybody work. So you work this business for yourself. Then everybody's going to fall behind you and say, oh, I see you doing this. Hey, I could do this. I want to have this. I want to have this. So it's a growth mindset. You have to grow your mindset, and then you set yourself up for so much success. So that's why I started this business, because I wanted to bring my husband home, did that, bought a house, did that, and now I want to be able to be the grandma that says, okay, you can do this. You can have this. You can have this. But you have to grow yourself each and every day. And I am blessed. I am blessed because of this business in so many ways.
Thank you, Julie. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, does somebody else want to volunteer, or do you want me to draw a name?
I'll go.
Okay.
My name is Amber. I have been in this business for 2 years. This month on the 21st is my It Works anniversary. My lifetime rank is executive leader. My first month actually boxed for executive, but took me 7 months to actually go executive. Right now, I'm pushing for Ruby. So the reason I got started was because I saw a friend post about the wraps, and I wanted to try the wraps out. But I had just got off from work for the summer, had no income coming in, so I couldn't afford them. I was then offered the opportunity. I'll admit, I had no interest in joining. I'm not a salesperson, all the normal excuses. I don't have time, I work a full-time job. But as the summer went on, I was using my credit card more and more to cover necessities. So in July, I watched my enroller for 2 months. I would ignore her messages, ghost her. And I saw that she was about to earn a $500 Ruby bonus. And then I finally messaged her and said, I'm ready. So I signed up and joined and just ran with it. I've been boxed. I actually was boxed for Ruby last year. And then I just reboxed again this year for Ruby. And my why is it just so I can have more income. I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, especially during the summer. I also want to help my parents out. I want to be around more to help my dad take my mom to her dialysis appointment. And I want to be able to provide a future for my kids that I have in the future. And I have to be working all the time and be able to stay home with them. That's it.
Wow. Both of you guys. So good. Okay, who's next?
Well, me
Okay.
and Heather have already gone. So
Oh,
Missy.
Missy.
I'll go. I'll go. Sorry, I have to keep like smacking my grand dog because he keeps trying to get up in my lap.
No worries.
Um, so, well, I'm Missy. My lifetime rank is Ruby. I've been in the business. This is my second time in the business. This time I've been in for a year and a half. And I rejoined because I wanted extra money to be able to, my kids were in high school. Well, 2 of them were in high school, and I realized, look, see, I'm already crying, that we never got to travel. We never got to do anything. They never got their Letterman's jacket, none of it. And my oldest was heading to college, and he wanted to be a heart surgeon since he was in 5th grade. We had a little girl. She would have been 12. And so he was in 5th grade, and then his brother was a year behind him. And so ever since her complications, that's when he decided what he wanted to be, and he's just pushed for it. And we had no way to help him. We couldn't help him get an apartment. We couldn't help him go to school. We had no money. We legit, his senior year, we were living in a tent. So I rejoined because there had to be something. And it took me a while to go Ruby, and now I've been at Ruby for a year, and I have my grandbaby, 2 grandsons now. And honestly, when it really truly hit me again was with all this thing with the coronavirus. My son with my grandson and my daughter-in-law had just moved into their own place, and all this hit, and he got laid off. And I don't want my kids and my grandkids to have to live the life that they had to growing up. So I want to be able to help them. I mean, I've already, we've been able to travel. I've been able to take them all on little trips and this and that, but I just don't want there to be any worry for them and my grandkids. And we're now planning and saving, like what I've been saving for is December 2021. We're going to finally do the Disneyland trip that every kid wants to do, but it's going to be with my grandkids too. So that's where I'm at. Sorry. I'm like, ah.
Don't be sorry. I am so thankful that you were just that honest. It's not easy going through something like that and then having the fear that's faced that, oh my goodness, I don't want my children to face that same thing. But I just want you to know how special your why is. Like, it is so special because there are other people who have the same heart and desires and worries over their children, and they just want more for their family, and they don't want to be placed in a box and have to stay in that box and stay behind the game and wonder when things are going to fall just right. And I promise you, like, I just feel the need to tell you, like, I was a kid who grew up with a very unstable home, and I love my parents so much, and nothing they ever did makes me change the way that I love them. I love them so much. They did everything they knew they could. But if my parents had this, and I'm thankful that you're here and that you get to give the gift of your story to someone else. Like, you have such a gift with your story, and I pray that you feel strong enough to share it. And if you don't feel strong, you come ask somebody for some strength, because you have got a serious testimony in your hands that's going to change people's lives. And I just wanted to put that on you. I know that's a lot to hear, but you are special. Your story is special, and so is your why. And you're going to help so many people have hope and belief in themselves because of you being so honest. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I've been working really hard on like personal development lately because it's been so, I don't like sharing that part of it.
You're on the right track, sister.
Really trying.
Great. You are doing so great. So great.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to draw a name.
We have time for 2 more.
Sherry. Sherry.
I was hoping I would be last, but then I was hoping the power would go out. So or the internet would go out, or something would happen.
I was like, no.
Oh, well, my name is Sherry Wise. I have been in this business for 4 months. I'm still crawling, still taking baby steps, learning a lot. The reason why I got into this is because I have a grandson that is legally deaf. He's delayed in speech. He acts like he's somewhere on the autism spectrum, and he has seizures. Well, his mom and dad, before the COVID happened, they were in the entertainment business, and so they were gone a lot. So me being him, I've been about the most solid person in his life since he was baby. And he's the main reason why I'm here, because I want to make sure it continues that way. I've told him many times, Nana's not going to leave you. Nana's going to be here. So in doing what I'm doing, trying as hard as I can, learning from you lovely ladies, because I promise you, if it wasn't for you, I'd already be under the bed hiding. Y'all have been great inspiration to me. Y'all have taught me so much, and y'all have, for somebody who has, I've dealt with a lot. I'm 59 years old, and that hit me harder than when I turned 40, when I turned 30. It was like, okay, it's 59 now. Holy crap. But I'm wanting to make things matter. I want to make things work. And that's about all I can say.
That's beautiful, Sherry. Thank you. And what I think from what I heard, what is really like the passion to your fire for being here is because you know there's a reason you're here, and you know there's something special to this, and you see hope, and you see beacon of faith in the fact that this can allow you to give your grandson anything that he ever asks for. It can allow you to always be there for him. Whenever he wants to look up and see Grammy's there, you're there. And that you're doing this so that, and as well, you want him to say, my Grammy did that. You know, I'm proud of her. And that's what I feel from you, because if you are such a giving person that you think of others all the time, and I see that you're always thinking about your grandson, how you can better serve him, and you're not alone, sister. There's other Grammys who want the same for their children, who want the same for their grandchildren, and just to say, you know what, dang it, I want more out of this life, and I believe I can have it. And that's enough for me to keep on going, you know. So I'm proud of you, and thank you for coming outside of your comfort to do that. Thank you so much.
And Sherry, really quick, I too want to add to that is that you get to remember this moment as your victory. You are going to look back a year from now and you're going to be like, if you would have told me the day before Monday Mindset that I would be sharing my story, I wouldn't have been on Monday Mindset. If I would have known what was coming, I wouldn't have been on there. But you know what? I did it. And I have done that many times since then, and I've helped other women do the same thing. And I have since then been able to not have to house sit, not have to do all these other things. And I have replaced my income in a way that I have gotten the best therapist. I've gotten the best doctors for my grandson. I've socked away a savings account for him. I have created stability, and I have grown as a person beyond what I ever imagined, but it was just itty bitty baby steps. And my try went to this is not an option. Back then I said, I'm trying my hardest. And then I learned to replace that comment with, I am doing. Hell or high water, you may find me dead on the side of the road, but there is no option for me as an amazing 59-year-old woman. I am now 62 and I am completely financially free because I chose to dominate this life that God has given me. And I showed up on Monday Mindset. Anita.
I love it. I just love how Sherry just received all that you said. I saw you receive it, Sherry. I saw you receive it. So let me hurry up. I know we have to show me the money to call. So I will just let you all know I'm Anita Williams. I am an educator who specializes in building self-esteem. I am a special educator. So I love helping students who struggle academically, who don't believe that they can do what they can do. My favorite thing to hear from the kids is, oh, because we worked over and over and over again until they could do it. So I helped them set goals for themselves and help them achieve them. Back in 2012, in the school system, they kept giving us furlough days. And I was losing money. My washing machine was broken. The car had electrical problems. And I was at an educator training. And decided at the very last minute to go to lunch. I kept saying, I'm not eating. Yeah, okay, go to lunch. In a crowded food court, I met one of my old girlfriends that I used to teach with at another school. And she said, I invited you to a rap party. And I said, what is that? And she said, I said, never mind. It doesn't matter. I missed your birthday party, so I'm coming. So I go to this rap party. I had no idea what it is. And even before I went, I saw an email that she had sent me, and it said, Titan Toning Firm for $25. And I'm like, I don't have $25. But I told her I was coming, so I had to go. So I go to the party. They put the wrap on me. I had amazing results. It was on a Sunday evening, and I went back to work at the school the next day. And one of my friends said, what did you do over the weekend? And I was like, oh my gosh, I went to this rap party. They put this wrap on my stomach, and she tuned me out. And she said, I need 7. I'm like, what? So at that point, I knew that there was no way that I was going to send her back to the girl who wrapped me for $25 when I could just get a kit for $99 that came with 4 wraps them and sell them to her, which is exactly what I did. And I never stopped telling people about it after that. And the first thing that It Works let me do was just be able to bring in cash where I could put stuff on the belt at the grocery store and not have to put it back. And that was big for me because I used to always have things and I'm like, oh, I can't have that. I can't have that. My first win was just being able to buy my groceries and just say, this is what I want, and got it. And so I started because I had the great results. But then I just started to bring in cash, and I was like, you know what? You need to tell somebody else about this. You don't know who needs $50, $75, $100. It wasn't about a big, major rank or anything for me. It was just helping someone with what had helped me. And so I started to help people fast, and I grew quickly. And the first leadership rank is called Diamond, but I did not feel like a leader at all. Everything they asked me, well, I just started. And they would say, this is our leader. I'm like, stop calling me that. Stop calling me that, because I didn't know what I was doing. And so if you imagine that I didn't want to be called that in the first place, and then I reached this rank by working with all of them, and then people started to fall off. They started to go to other companies, doing what they wanted to do, and I fell flat on my face in here. How do you do this again? How do you tell someone what to do? How do you deal with someone who doesn't believe in themselves? I said, it's the same thing that you do with the kids, but you have to do it with yourself first. And it took a long time. So because of It Works, I have done extensive, when I say extensive personal development. If I didn't get anything else from this company, I am a different woman. I started in 2012. I believe I can do anything. Do you understand? Anything. I don't always have the answers of how, but I know I can do it. And the same fire that I want my students to have is what I want. So my ultimate goal is just to continue to use the income from It Works to keep showing people how to bring in an additional $300 to $500. And I mean that, whether they do it through the different ranks within the system or the samples that we have, we earn cash, we earn commission, bonuses. If they believe they can do something, I can say, this is what I did, and I can show you how to do it. And I just want to keep showing people how to do that so that I can continue to earn money, so that I can continue to educate students outside the classroom, in the communities, and just have the freedom to live the way I want and give the way I want. I love my new relationships with my rap sisters, and I'm just excited about it as I was in 2012. It's about the journey. It is so much about the journey, and I would love for you to join me on it.
That was awesome.
Boom.
Y'all, my face hurts from smiling.
I know, my eyes keep leaking, and it's like,
Allergies. That's my allergies.
I want to cry. I want to get up and dance.
I wish I could hug all of you.
You know, one last thing. There was a boss that I used to have with Arizona Youth Partnership, and he would go like this. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we would be in the middle of a class, and he's teaching about STDs or something. And I got to know what he meant, because he would go like this. They are magical moments. And what is the one thing that we get to do that means the world? Epic proportions, that pebble on the glass-stilled lake. You throw that one pebble and it just ripples. We get to do this one thing. And each story that was told tonight are ripples. It is our story to tell. Those ripples are going to go on for legacy. They are going to go on for years. Every choice that we make to grow, to speak, to achieve, to believe, and to keep taking steps is that ripple. And it is not about us. It is about who we are influencing and loving and embracing in each of our journeys. And we get to do that because we make a choice every single day.
Yep.
And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my story belt is locked and loaded with my sister's testimony. I'm like, I feel like I could talk to anybody because I'm like, oh wait, I got a story in here to share. You know, maybe it's a secondhand story. It's not as good as the first route, but you know what? It's another way to connect with somebody. And I am thankful for y'all because I feel more equipped. I don't know about you guys. You guys feel
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you so much. For real. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Good night.
Great. Bye, y'all.